2 Samuel chapter 11. And it occurred, when the year had ended, at the time when kings go out to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel. They defeated the Ammonites and besieged Rabbah, but David remained in Jerusalem. One evening David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the king's palace. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing, and she was very beautiful. David inquired about the woman and was told, "Is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam and the wife of Uriah the Hittite?" Then David sent messengers to get her. She came to him, and he slept with her. She had purified herself from her uncleanness. Then she returned to her house. The woman conceived and sent word to David, saying, "I am pregnant." So David sent a message to Joab, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." And Joab sent Uriah to David. When Uriah came to him, David asked how Joab and the troops were doing and how the war was going. Then David said to Uriah, "Go down to your house and wash your feet." Uriah left the palace, and a gift from the king was sent after him. However, Uriah slept at the entrance of the palace with all his master's servants. He did not go down to his house. When it was reported to David, "Uriah didn't go home," David questioned Uriah, "Haven't you just come from a journey? Why didn't you go home?" Uriah answered David, "The ark, Israel, and Judah are dwelling in tents, and my lord Joab and his soldiers are camping in the open field. How can I enter my house to eat and drink and sleep with my wife? As surely as you live and by your life, I will not do this." David said to Uriah, "Stay here today also, and tomorrow I will send you back." So Uriah stayed in Jerusalem that day and the next. Then David invited Uriah to eat and drink with him, and David got him drunk. He went out in the evening to lie down on his cot with his master's servants, but he did not go home. The next morning David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it with Uriah. In the letter he wrote, "Put Uriah at the front of the fiercest battle, then withdraw from him so that he is struck down and dies." When Joab was besieging the city, he put Uriah in the place where he knew the best enemy soldiers were. When the men of the city came out and fought against Joab, some of the men from David's soldiers fell in battle. Uriah the Hittite also died. Joab sent someone to report to David all the details of the battle. He commanded the messenger, "When you finish reporting all the details of the battle to the king, if the king's anger gets stirred up and he asks you, 'Why did you get so close to the city to fight? Didn't you realize they would shoot from the top of the wall?' At Thebez, a woman threw a millstone down on Abimelech's head and cracked his skull. Then say to the king, 'Your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also.'" So the messenger went and told David everything Joab had sent him to report. The messenger said to David, "The men gained the advantage over us and came out against us in the field, but we forced them back to the entrance of the city gate. Then the archers shot at your servants from the top of the wall, and some of the king's servants are dead, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is also dead." David told the messenger, "Say this to Joab, 'Don't let this matter trouble you because the sword devours all alike. Intensify your fight against the city and demolish it. Encourage him.'" When Uriah's wife heard that her husband Uriah had died, she mourned for him. Once the time of mourning was over, David had her brought to his house. She became his wife and bore him a son. However, what David had done was evil in the Lord's sight.